Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an autumn/wintry try-on haul. I've got a few pieces from a few different places. I have some things from when I was over in Japan. It was winter while I was there, so it was a great time to stock up on a few winter pieces, and also some pieces that I've ordered online since I've come back. I hope you enjoy today's video. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I upload a new video every single week, and let's go ahead and get started with something that I have been seeing all over social media. I know the majority of the world is heading into spring right now, but I think that the leather look or faux leather trouser is perfect for spring or autumn and winter as well. So I picked up a couple of options, both from Topshop, although I have seen alternatives on Zara, Mango and ASOS. I've also seen like leather leggings, that kind of style as well. But I just loved the look of the ones on Topshop. I saw a couple of people haul them in their own videos as well. Laura Burns is someone that I found recently and I love her style, and she hauled these trousers as well recently, and I just thought they looked amazing on her and I really wanted to pick them up and give them a go myself. So this is the first pair here. This is more of a beigey tone. It is high-waisted with a little popper button. It has a little bit of a pleating detail down the front here, which makes it look a little bit more tailored. Really classic design. You guys know me if you've been watching my videos for a while. I don't like lots and lots of detail on my pieces, so I really like that this is nice and simple. Classic color. One that is going to go with lots of different things. It has pockets on each side. This pair I'm definitely going to get taken up. I find them just a tiny bit too long for me in the leg. I am short, so I think if you are a normal height, they will be absolutely fine, but I'm gonna get them taken up a little bit so that they fit me perfectly. And the second pair of faux leather trousers, also from Topshop, is quite a similar design. These ones are obviously a bit of a deeper color. They are kind of like a caramel brown. This pair actually has belt loops. The previous pair did not have belt loops, so I think this will look great with a belt. Also high-waisted. Instead of a popper button, it's got a button with a hole. Again, we have got that pleating design down the front. On this pair, it's a little bit more pronounced. This one also has pockets on either side, and actually, I think this pair is going to be the perfect one to wear into winter because on the inside, it's got a lovely fleecy material. So I think the lighter pair will be great for spring and autumn, and then when it gets a little bit cooler, this pair will be great for keeping me a little bit more warm. This pair I actually don't think I'm going to need to take up in the leg. They seem to be a little bit shorter than the previous pair that I showed you, and they hit my ankle at just the right point. So this pair is actually perfect. So if you are a little bit shorter like I am, then this might be the one to go for. Again, lovely classic style and design, and in a very wearable color that I think is going to go with a lot of things. As you can see, it is a very neutral haul today. I find every time I'm doing a haul now is getting more and more neutral. I'm just loving these colors and how they pair so easily together. I do want to talk quickly about Topshop's sizing. They have a sizing chart on their website, and I was not sure what size I was going to be in the leather trousers, so I looked at their sizing chart, I measured myself around my waist, around my hips, did everything the way I was supposed to, and the sizing chart told me that I was going to be between a 10 and a 12 in the leather trousers. And I was like, what? I'm not normally a 10 to 12, but I went with it because it's a style of trouser that I haven't tried before, so I thought I'll trust the sizing chart. Surely they've got those measurements right. And I ordered one pair in a 10 and one pair in a 12. I'm going to show you the clips of me trying those on now because these are not them. I think the lighter pair I had in a size 10 and the darker pair in the size 12. The size 12 pair was just hilariously too big for me, and the pair that was in a 10, I thought maybe if I took them to a tailor I could get them taken in and they might be okay, but they really just did not fit, neither the 10 nor the 12. They were both too big for me, so I sent them back. I got my refund. I reordered in a size 8 and they both fit great. It's kind of fine because like I did get my refund, although I spent I think $30 shipping them back to England, which is a lot of money. But the problem that I have with this is that I did everything right. I checked the sizing chart and I measured myself, so those items should have fit me. So just a message to you guys, if you are looking at the sizing chart and it seems way off, just go with the size that you normally are, because I'm normally an 8 and the 8s fit me fine. And also a message to Topshop, not that they would be watching this video, but if by the off chance they happen to see it, Topshop, you need to sort out your sizing charts because they're wrong. Next up is something I actually picked up in Japan. I was on the hunt for a jumper dress and it had to fit a lot of criteria. So I really wanted one with a high neck or a roll neck, something to keep my neck nice and warm, because this is, aside from a coat, this is going to be my outer layer if I'm wearing it, because I won't put another jumper over the top. So as you can see, this one does have a high neck. This one is from H&M, by the way. I was looking for one in a neutral color as well, so this one I love that it's in this beautiful biscuity light brown shade. I used to have a jumper in this color and then it got really bobbly, and it was before I had ever heard of debobblers, so I just decluttered it and I continuously missed that jumper. So this one is actually really similar, except for the fact that it's a dress. The sleeves have this kind of ballooning effect and then they come in a little bit tighter at your wrist again. I really wanted a jumper dress that was not tight but also not particularly short, and I was finding it really easy to meet one or the other of those criteria but not both. So this was basically the only one that I found that met both of those criteria. So it is a nice loose fitting dress, but it's also midi length, and then it has a little bit of movement with these slits up both sides. I did wear it while I was in Japan because it was very cold there, but I didn't have a belt with me. I've been very interested to see how it looks with a belt, just to give it a little bit more shape. I think it looks great without a belt as well, but I think it will be a bit more flattering with a belt. And because it was H&M, this was actually pretty affordable. I think it was even on sale. I don't think it was more than about $50. And another dress that I picked up while I was in Japan, this is more of an autumnal one. It's not got as thick material or as warm material as the previous one, but this one is going to be beautiful for autumn, and I reckon I can layer it up as well to get a bit more wear out of it into winter. So this is from a brand called Mouth Valley. It's not a brand that I've ever heard of before. It was just a little side shop in a little shopping street in Japan. So I doubt they have an online store, but really you can find this style of dress in lots of different places. This is just the one that I happened to find when we were having a bit of a shopping day. So it is a long sleeved midi dress in this beautiful pattern. I wore it to see my friend the other day and she told me they looked a bit like hamburgers, but even though it is patterned, it's still just neutral colors, so I still think it's going to be really easy to pair with lots of different things. And one nice little detail that it has is this little tie around the neck. Below the tie, it actually has a really shallow v-neck, so it's not super low. It's going to be appropriate to wear in all situations, not going to show a lot of cleavage. And then the tie has this lovely little button detail over on one side, so it actually ties over to the side of your neck rather than right in the middle. And I really love that little detail. I think it gives it a little bit of quirk, makes it a bit different from other dresses. Elasticated waist, which is so flattering, and then my favorite style of dress, it just flows and it hangs really beautifully. I will tend to style this with a belt to cover the elastic waist. I think I will mostly style it with a brown belt. That is how I wore it the other day. And the dress is actually partially lined as well. Not the top part, but from the elastic down to just above the knees, there is like an underskirt. So it's also not see-through, which is brilliant. Moving into the jumper section of this video, I have 3 to show you. This first one is also from Topshop. So I picked this up in the same haul as the leather trousers. So this is a very chunky jumper. I just love my thick warm jumpers that are so easy to wear in winter, and I just wanted some more of those. So this one has a high neck, which I think I'll be able to roll or leave it up if I feel like it. Really chunky thick material. Again, it kind of has that balloon sleeve effect and then comes in a little bit tighter at the wrist. It's nice and oversized, so I'll be able to fit a lot of layers under here if I need to. If you're just having one of those days where you just need to rug yourself up, I think this is the jumper to go for. I picked this up in a small. I haven't worn it yet because, again, it's just too hot at the moment, but I think it's going to look great with the faux leather trousers, so I'm really excited to give that a go. By the way, sorry if you can hear the rain in this video. This is like the first rain that we've had literally since I came back from Japan, which is over a month ago now, so it's well needed for us here. The next jumper that I have in a very similar color is actually from Uniqlo. So I picked this up while we were in Japan. I was kind of not that excited about Uniqlo. I didn't really understand what it was, and then we got there and I was like, oh, these are amazing. Like, this jumper is so soft. And I'm pretty sure that you can get Uniqlo either in store or online from pretty much every country except New Zealand. So I picked up a few things while we were there. I was hoping that I could buy it online in case I want some more things down the track, but you cannot get them online in New Zealand. So anyway, back to this jumper. Like I said, it's a similar color to the last one that I showed you, and it also has, you know, similar features with the neck and also the laser kind of cutout details, but it's much thinner. Like, this one is not a chunky jumper at all. It's beautifully soft. I am so picky when it comes to fabric, and this one just feels so beautiful. I definitely have a style that I like, because not that this one has balloon sleeves, but it does have the tighter part at the wrist. I find if my sleeves are loose towards the end, then they just get in my way of everything I'm trying to do. If I'm trying to wash my hands, my sleeves get wet. So I like a tighter part around the wrist so that I can kind of roll it up a little bit. As always, the high neck is going to keep me nice and toasty in winter. Because there's just less material to this one, it's not going to look as oversized, it's not going to be as chunky, but I think it's going to be nice and warm. And then we have the one black item for the video. This is another one that I picked up in Japan. This one is actually from Universal Studios, which is one of my favorite things that we did while we were there. And it is a Hogwarts jumper. I was ready. Like, the day that we went to Universal Studios, I was just like, Harry Potter merch, take my money. So this one doesn't say what size it is. I'm sure I would have gotten it in a small, but it is quite oversized. As you can see, it's like a long fit. We do have the elasticated wrists, gotta have that. It's not a high neck, but it's also not going to leave a lot of my chest exposed. It's gonna keep me pretty covered. Yeah, beautiful. We have the Hogwarts logo, the 4 different houses, and it says Hogwarts down the bottom. So I have worn it once because it's actually not super thick. It's a bit of a lighter knit. It's also not super light, it's kind of like in between. So I have managed to wear it once since we've been back, but I'm super excited for the weather to drop so I can wear this all the time. In terms of pricing, like, I would say everything that you buy at Universal Studios is overpriced just because of where you are. You can probably find something similar to this for less than what I paid, but I was there for the experience. I was ready to spend money, so I really don't care. Next up, I bought a pair of shoes from a brand called Everlane, which I am sure you've all heard of. It is super popular on all social media at the moment. Anyone that's kind of relatively interested in sustainability is getting behind this brand. They do a lot of recycled material as well, so I picked up their Reknit recycled glove boot, and I think that this is just beautiful. These actually come in so many different colors. I think they've got at least 8 or 10 different colors on their website. I picked them up in this beautiful chocolate brown color. It's actually like a ribbed material. It's more of a clothing material than what you would typically find on a shoe. Because it's material and it won't kind of wipe clean as easily as leather, I decided to go for a darker color because I think brown is not going to show up stains anywhere near as easily as, say, a cream pair, which they do have on their website if you're interested. So there were 2 main reasons that I wanted this pair of shoes. One of them being the fit, because they are just so form-fitting to the shape of your leg. They looked so comfortable. And the other reason was actually because of the heel height. Most of my boots, they all have a chunky block heel like this, but most of them have a heel that is just a little bit longer than this. And while I can walk in that all day, I can't do it every day all in a row. So I might be able to wear heels like that for 2 days and then I'd have to wear sneakers. But these ones are just a little bit shorter, and I think that I will be able to wear these all the time. I think they'll just be that much more comfortable, that much easier to walk in, and I think I'll get a lot of wear out of these. The only time I don't see myself wearing these is if it's raining, because I don't want the material to get damaged. The style of them, how they really mold to your leg, I think is going to go with a lot of different things that I wear. Like, I bought them around the same times I was looking at these leather look trousers, and I was just thinking how beautiful this would go with the shape of those. I have actually already wore these boots. I wore them with the patterned top that I showed you earlier, and they look so good together. Since I have worn them once, I can give you my initial opinions. They are super comfortable, super easy to walk in. I absolutely love them. The one and only thing that I want to say that's not 100% positive, although it's not a big deal, is that they don't really have grip on the bottom. So most of the time that is fine. I went on one of those escalators, you know, the ones that don't have stairs, but they're just kind of a ramp. And I tried, normally I just walk straight down, and I tried to walk down this elevator and I just went slipping the whole way down. I had to grab the handrail so I wouldn't fall over. But if you're just on like regular concrete or grass or whatever it is that you're walking on that's not super slippery, then you'll be fine. But I think slippery surfaces, be careful. Like, I haven't worn these walking across wet wood yet. That might be another instance where you would want to be very careful. And last up, I just have a couple more things to show you from Uniqlo, which I have not even opened yet, but they have this heat tech range that I was really excited to try, because I get so cold in winter, and I thought that I'd wear these while I was in Japan, but actually everything is heated in Japan. Like, when you're outside is the only time that you're not super warm, and I just found if I layered up too much, every time I went inside I felt like fainting. So I just didn't need this while I was in Japan, but I think in winter in New Zealand I will, because we don't heat our buildings like at all. It's really annoying. So I picked up this long sleeve shirt in a size small. So this is definitely not a fashion piece. I don't think any of their heat tech range is really meant to be all that fashionable. It's meant to be more of like an underneath layer that no one sees, but it's just there to keep you a bit warmer. I thought I'd get it in this skin color, because if I'm wanting to put it underneath these jumpers with a bit of a cutout detail to them, then I wanted it to be not noticeable. They did also have, I think, short sleeve versions and maybe even singlets, but I wanted the long sleeve version to get the most heat possible out of them. I really like that the neckline is a scoop neck, because I often find, not so much anymore because I've been quite careful to only buy high neck jumpers, but I used to find when I had all sorts of different necklines on my jumpers that if I was wearing a shirt with a slightly higher neck or even just a crew neck, you'd always be able to see it under the jumper, and I really don't like that. So this is a really wide scoop neck, which I think will be invisible under most other jumpers. The material is super soft. It feels really nice. It has a lot of stretch to it, and I can't tell you yet if it's going to be any good at keeping me warm, because it's not cold enough for me to have worn it. But I definitely want to do an update for you guys, letting you know what I think of the heat tech range. So this piece and the next one that I'm about to show you, which is the Footless Tights. Since I've discovered this trick, I always wear tights underneath whatever I'm wearing in winter, and it helps so much in keeping me warm for the day. The only problem is I tend to get holes in the toes, so that is why I decided to go with the footless ones, because I think these will last me a lot longer. This is quite interesting actually. There's still quite a lot of stretch, but they do not feel like tights. They feel more like leggings, but they're somewhere in between. So they have a separate elasticated waistband like a legging would. Then, I don't know if you can see it, but they have the seam that goes down the middle on the front and on the back. That is also more like a legging than a tight. And then the main part of the material is actually very slightly ribbed. It is a little bit fleecy on the inside, not like a fluffy fleece. And then they have the proper hemmed stitching on the ankle part. These are the ultra warm. I think they had different stages of warmth, and I went with the ultra warm because I am just always freezing. I am very, very excited to be wearing that and the shirt in winter, and I will try and update you guys at some point on my thoughts on both of them once I've been wearing them for a little while. How warm they keep me, how well they last, things like that. They're not the most expensive, so I'm hoping they're going to be well worth the money. And that brings me to the end of today's video. That was my autumn/winter items that I've picked up recently that I'm hoping I'll be able to wear pretty soon. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you again next time. Bye!